Hey, how's it going? Hold on, I don't think the audio came through. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's coming through.
Oh,
Good, good, good.
okay, cool. So man, you got a surprise for your fans coming up.
Yeah. So this Saturday, the 23rd, I'm finally back in action. It's been a long few years, but hey, things finally fell in place.
Yeah, man. How frustrating was it to actually let everybody know why you were out for so long? I'll put it that way.
Okay, so I made my debut shortly after turning 18.
Mm.
That would have been October 22nd of 2016.
Yep.
Fight went great. I won a unanimous decision, tough opponent. We were looking to get right back into the ring, and I actually suffered an injury.
Yeah.
I ended up tearing some cartilage in my wrist.
Wow.
And we went right to the doctors, try to get everything fixed right away. You can't fight injured, can't train injured,
Yeah.
not to the point where I was at least.
Yeah.
But it took about a year and a half. I think it was 4 or 5 MRIs, 6 or 7 different X-rays, and we were getting negative result, negative result. We went to a couple different doctors, different specialists,
Yeah.
everything. Eventually, we got an MRI, came up, I guess, and it showed what the problem was. I had the surgery. They repaired some cartilage. It all went well, went through rehab. Right when it's time to get back in the ring, I had a fight scheduled last March of last year, and bam, COVID hit.
Yep.
So I think we had like 4 set. Every time we get like 10 days out, either the state commissioner or the mayor, whoever would,
Yeah.
get canceled.
Yeah.
But we've been in the gym, been staying busy. I mean, I've been ready to go all 2020. It looks like this Saturday is finally gonna happen.
Yeah. Hey, let's stay on that. Let's revisit when that injury happened, man. I know it's been frustrating you after that first fight to actually see everybody that you came aboard with in 2016 continue on fighting, and all of a sudden you wasn't able to fight anymore. How at least at that particular time, how frustrating was that?
Most frustrating thing I've ever been through in my life. I mean, I can't really put it no other way. It felt like my whole life was just at a standstill, really. I mean, boxing is my life. We've talked before,
Hmm.
plenty of other people who know me. I mean, I've been in the boxing gym since I was crawling. Legit. I was in
Yeah.
Brooklyn Boxing Club on Patapsco Avenue crawling. Started sparring at like 5 years old, having exhibitions at 6.
Yeah.
Had over 100 amateur fights. I mean, all I do, boxing, in and out, in and out.
Exactly.
I'm sitting in my car. I'm sitting in my car right now because I just came from training the clients.
Uh-huh.
That's my day-to-day job is, helping people get fit, lose weight,
Yeah.
cardio, conditioning, all through boxing. Got a couple young guys that might have some amateur fights here in the future that I work with. But, I mean, yeah, boxing's my life. So when I wasn't in the ring, I was lost for a little while, but things are back on track, and I'm very, very happy with the way life's going.
Yeah. Were you still continue like to train a little bit other than training other people? Were you continue to train and stay in shape and everything?
Yeah. I mean, that whole time, even when we were going through, you know, getting MRIs, X-rays, and then not coming back positive,
Uh-huh.
the doctor would be like, "Well, we don't see nothing." So we go in the gym and we try to work out, but you can't train as a professional fighter 1 or 2 days a week and
Yeah.
having to take 3 or 4 days off. Because
Yeah.
that's kind of how it was. I'd feel great, go in the gym, work, and then problem. But like I said, we found the problem. We had the surgery. I'm 100% now. Literally, I'm stronger, faster. This COVID and this injury might end up being the best thing for my career. I grew as a person, inside and outside the ring, and all I do is study boxing. So I mean, that's 4 more years of me watching the greats on YouTube, on DAZN or whatnot. So I mean, all I've been doing is studying and growing as a
Yeah.
fighter.
And you're 22 now, right?
Yes, sir. I'm 22
So
years old.
22, you still got a lot of fight up in you, man, and a lot of
Oh,
years ahead
plenty.
of you. And so when it comes to this COVID situation, how I want to say how were you looking to actually jump in? You know what I'm saying? To get it back into boxing when this COVID situation kicked in. Did you was like, oh man, you know what? This gonna slow my career down even more. When you first started, before this fight happened for you.
Yeah. So we had a fight scheduled, and we got a schedule in the beginning of 2020, and it wasn't until like I don't know end of March. So I mean, I was ready, working.
Uh-huh.
They kept saying it was going to happen. I think it was about 2 weeks out is when they finally canceled it. So I
Uh-huh.
mean, yeah, it was another bump in the road, but I mean, what road ain't bumpy
Yeah.
really? So I mean, it's nothing I haven't seen before. I mean, it was a disappointment, and it's like, oh, we're gonna be another month or two. End up being another like 8 or 9. But I mean, it's just part of the game. Is staying focused, being disciplined, staying in the gym. So I mean, it was disappointing, but I mean, it's disappointing when you ask a girl out and she says no. I mean,
Yeah.
it ain't really that big of a deal. It's
Yeah.
something you got to get over.
Yeah, and also how when boxing started, even those 4 years ago when you started, have you seen a lot change since you started boxing back in 2000? What is it, 2020? No, 16. I'm sorry, 2016
2016, my time.
on the 22nd.
What do you mean by seeing a lot of change, like in the boxing
The
game?
way the boxing has changed, and because I know for this area, it was a hotbed, and you jumped in right at that time it was supposed to get there, and all of a sudden you had this injury. But what you've seen has changed, far as how great this area has grown, how the fighters have advanced to actually be a part of the actual known popular boxing world.
Yeah, hey, that's a good point. I don't even really think I thought about it that way. Yeah, since 2016, I mean, a lot of dudes from the DMV and Baltimore alone. I mean, just my neighborhood.
Yeah,
A lot of dudes are popping off, getting signed by some big time promoters. Yeah, getting on TV, pay per view stuff. I mean, yeah, a lot's happened.
yeah,
I'm just ready to get on the mix. All the guys we would list right now, from Malik Hawkins to Malik Warren to all the dudes from the Russell brothers down in DC
yeah,
to the Peters. I mean, I know all the guys from the DMV area. Troy Isley just signed the Top Rank. I mean, there's a million guys I fought in the amateur
hmm,
spar with, been in the gym with. And yeah, they're all doing what they're getting what they deserve. I mean, they've worked their whole life for
yeah,
it. They've been putting in the work the last 4 years. Well, really, endless, but we're talking since 2016. So, I mean, they're getting what they deserve. I've been putting in the work myself. So now it's time for me to go out there, prove myself, earn my keep. And I'm sure I'll be with them guys
yeah,
in no time.
yeah. I'm pretty.
I'll be on TV. I'll be on the big cards. It's just, I just gotta go. It's been 4 years. I gotta let everyone know what they've been missing out on.
And what I've seen, how boxing has progressed, it won't take 4 years nowadays for guys to be on television. We see a lot of guys, sometimes less than 10 fights, and we see them right on the big stage. And those are guys that's well sought out, that's been picked out early. That been on the radar early in their amateur careers and things like that. And locally, you're one of those guys that people were high on until you got your injury. So and actually, now let's get into the training. Right now, you're being trained by Danny Kisner, right?
Yeah, Danny Kistner, Nick Kistner. They're my two main coaches.
Oh, okay.
Danny's the head coach.
And they've been were they with you at the first fight of your career?
Uh, no, not my first fight. I was still being trained predominantly by my father.
Okay.
But so go back. I've known Nick and Danny since, I guess, you go back to the days I was crawling in the gym, because that would have been Danny's gym at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick was like an older brother to me. He used to babysit me when I was a little kid. Literally,
Yeah.
we grew up in the same neighborhood. All the guys from the old Brooklyn gym, the Baltimore area. So Nick and Danny are basically like family. So they've been in my corner as the amateurs.
Mm-hmm.
They've trained me for fights. Actually, I won one of my first national titles when I was like 10 years old with Danny and
Yeah.
Nick, because my father couldn't take me the first time I won ringside. So I mean, it's nothing new. It's just, with my father's age, he hasn't been as much hands-on, so we're just bringing in Danny and Nick. They took over more full-time. So I mean, things are going great. It's nothing new though. It's basically the same team I've been with since I was 8 years old.
Yeah. Is there some things that you want your fans to know, how you're going to be attacking your boxing career coming up? Because I know I think you said it's like, well, let me ask you a question. How aggressive are you going to be attacking your boxing career? Can you hear me? How aggressive are you going to be attacking your boxing career?
I mean, I plan on going and getting the win on Saturday night and being back in the gym Monday. So I mean, as soon as my team gets me another fight, I'm gonna be back in the ring. All I plan to do is stay active. I mean, it's my time right now. 2021 is gonna be my year to put probably the whole East Coast on notice. 2022 will start spreading, and then 2-3 years time, I'm gonna be up there with all the big names, big promoters, big managers gonna want me. Me and my team, I got a good group of guys behind me. They've been doing a lot of hard work through COVID for me. So I mean, I'm staying in the gym. I'm doing what the fighter's supposed to do, and that's listen to the coach and just be disciplined, dedicated, hard work. That's all I do. That's all I focus on. Besides that, I leave the rest up to Nick and Danny and Jake, and leave that up to the team. I just fight, man.
Yeah. And how many times do you plan on fighting? Since we're at the beginning of the January of the year, how many times you going to be planning on fighting this year? Can you have any kind of predictions or anything like that?
I think after Saturday, with this beginning of the year, I don't see why I can't get minimum four more. I
Okay.
mean, if I could fight, I think I'll get four more this year, realistically.
Okay.
I mean, if we could get more, we'll get more for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, it's the beginning of my career. If I keep going and taking care of my job, no injuries, no big wars, nothing crazy. I mean, yeah, I'll fight four or five. I'll fight every week. I don't care. I'm gonna be in the gym regardless. I'm gonna be sparring, so we might as well make it a real fight.
Yeah, and I think that's the history of young fighters when they get back into it or either actually start off. They put in like about 4, 5, 6 fights a year.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, six would be beautiful. I would
yeah,
love to fight 6 times this year. But gosh, ooh, that'd be dreams. But I'm going to be grateful with anything I can get, especially with the how the world is right now. But I will tell you, when I'm in there, you're going to get a great show.
yeah.
I promise.
And also, how hard is it now how hard is it since COVID has been here? How hard is it to actually get these fights made?
Yeah, there's more steps to the job now. I mean, now it's a whole new medical got to get done. I know we just took care of that yesterday. We had a little running around to do to
Yeah.
make sure everything got sent to the commission correctly. But I mean, yeah, it's another obstacle. But I mean, that's not just in the boxing game. So we can't sit here and use that COVID as an excuse why we can't get fights or
Yeah.
why things aren't falling through.
Yeah.
No, it's the whole world's going through it. So I mean, I let my team do what they do on that end, the business side of things. I do the fighting. So I'll leave that up to them.
And this might be a question that you might answer, or you choose to answer. You choose not to answer. But is it your plan to actually sign with a big time promoter? Is that the future plan, or you try to go independent as long as you can if you can get the fights on your own?
I guess that's something that you look at it as it comes. Really, I mean, whatever. Like I said, whatever me and my coaches think is best for me, I'm going to do. Nowadays, a lot of times, we'll get to a point where I probably will have to sign with a big time promoter. But I'm 22 years old. And I'm only 1-0. I don't see a bunch of promoters knocking on the door right now. So in the meantime, I'm gonna do my own thing, get my name out there, and then hey, maybe I'll get the big fights without it. But if a big time promoter comes to me wanting to sign me, and if things make sense, then yeah, we'll sign with a big time promoter. That's down the line right now.
Yeah.
I just want to get the career started. To be honest with you, just
Yeah.
fight.
And I think one of the most important things for a fighter who's very ambitious about his career is to promote himself. So how are you doing it? How you going about promoting yourself, as far as social
Um,
media and things like that?
so I'm not the biggest fan of loving to post myself all over social media personally, but for the business side of boxing and then my personal training, I have been trying to pick it up, especially in like the last 2 weeks with the fight coming up. And I'm up to all my fans and followers. That's going to be a more consistent thing. I have a lot of people staying in my ear about record video, put your tripod out, this, that, the third. So I'm gonna do as they tell me. I'm gonna stay on social media. And while we're talking about that, just like my nickname, Bazooka Joe VZ, BAZOOKA a V and a Z. That's pretty much all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. That's all the same thing. So if y'all want to follow me, hit me on there for sure. I'll keep posting content. I'm gonna stay busy, especially after the fight.
Yeah.
But besides days, we all know that. But I got a good list of sponsors I actually picked up in the last month or two.
It's good.
And a lot of that came from just people in the past in my career, me, putting the word out there. And then my good buddy, Rudy Duke, he's actually an attorney.